Hello, welcome to my entrepreneur diaries, I guess, because I had this thought today. And if you watched my last vlog, if you don't know, I also vlog, but I guess let's do an introduction. Hi, my name is Diamond, and I'm an entrepreneur, and I am growing my business called Warm Pages, which is a bookstore cafe dedicated to Black women here in, well, it's not just here in St. Louis, but we will be opening in St. Louis, Missouri. But yeah, I started it this year. I posted about it. It got a huge blow up on TikTok. I am currently sitting at 15.5K on TikTok, which I feel like I haven't slowed down to realize that's a lot of people. Um, but that was like my personal TikTok, and I literally just posted about it. So I am in this weird stage of wanting to grow my personal brand. Um, but obviously people follow me because of Warm Pages and not because of who I am. So I've been brainstorming some stuff and content stuff, but I said all to say that that's kind of where I am. Before Warm Pages, I had been growing a clothing brand called Selected Threads, and it never took off. I got the Instagram to about 200 something followers, but outside of that, it was very stagnant. And I learned so much from it. I learned so much about clothing brand. I still want to create a clothing brand, but it's not the time for that right now. Right now, we have Warm Pages. I'm also a freelance video editor as well. So I'm growing two businesses in one because I was heavily wanting to get more clients for my video editing services this year as well, because it was helping with bringing in extra income. And then I just also enjoy editing. I enjoy editing for myself, and I also enjoy editing for other people. I really don't like enjoying. I really don't enjoy editing like lifestyle content for other people, but I don't mind editing podcasts or turning podcasts into short form videos. I know it's weird, but I don't mind listening to people talk. Like I think I right now I have one podcast that actually edit their short form content and their full episodes, and then I have a YouTube channel that I edit for. And then I have another podcast, but I started editing their episodes, but then they were like, we don't really need someone to edit our episodes. We need someone to do our social media clips. So I don't mind listening to people talk for a long time, getting out those awkward silences or ums or hms and making everything flow nice together. So yeah. I guess, is that like my intro? I guess I never really formally introduced myself, but I wanted to create my entrepreneur diaries because I there's so many thoughts that I have sometimes, and I feel like sit down content is not wrong. And as much as I also love vlogging, sometimes my life is boring because there's not much that's going on. I put my all, everything, whether that's mentally and financially, into my business, and I am a struggling business owner right now. I am a struggling business owner right now. When I first posted about Warm Pages, I genuinely did not expect for that video to do that good. And I posted it like a few weeks before I decided to launch the website. And so it literally felt like overnight success. When they say like people don't see you trying and trying and trying, they literally just see the quote unquote overnight success. Because as the video was growing, I remember I checked it one last time before I went to sleep, and I woke up and I was at 10K in 24 hours. 10K. Yes. The video I think is currently sitting at like 200 something K. And this is my first time having videos go quote unquote viral, I guess you could say, because I've been creating content for a very, very long time. Before I started my new Instagram, I was doing really good numbers on my old Instagram that I still use, but more so personal. But Yeah. And so when I first posted about Warm Pages, I had a small amount of inventory, and I unfortunately fell into the point of not thinking that numbers equate sales, but I did get excited, and so I just started ordering a bunch of inventory, a bunch of stuff, instead of testing out what really worked. And so, um, with the website that I was using, it was fair.com, and basically they give you net 60 terms. So they give you a certain amount of money, and then you have 60 days to pay it back. And it was very, very exciting in the beginning. Getting sales every day. I remember I had a really, in the very beginning, I got a sale every day of the month, something. Now, what I should have done and what I wish I had done, because I'm paying the price of it right now, is I wish I would have held off even more, because I did allow myself to get excited and test inventory that actually sells and actually works. And then once I figured out what sold and actually worked, I would have kept getting those items, because I do have items that people love that I need to restock, but I can't because I'm still paying off for the items that I got before. And that's I'm the one that put my all I'm the one that has put most of the money into the business. Of course, donations and like when people use our affiliate links, but even if people use like our bookshop, we get like $1 off of every book that someone gets. So it do become in handy, because that $20, that's the only time you could really do a little payout, is when you reach $20. So it do be working, but I don't not many people shop through our affiliate links. So that's why I try really, really hard to push our affiliate links, even though we don't get a lot from them. Something is something. That's all that matters. So I'm at a point where now I'm sitting with all this inventory that I can't sell. I've gone to vendor events and I have sold majority of the inventory, but a lot of it is very much still sitting. So now I'm at a point where I don't want us to seem very salesy. I don't want to overly sell, quote unquote, or make people feel like we're selling, but we are a business and we have to be profitable. So it's just like, I have all this inventory, no one's buying it. So what do you do? Start marking stuff down, of course, being honest, being like, hey, like right now, I have a couple items that I have discounted heavily, just to be like, I don't even want to look at it anymore. And I want to actually bring items that people want and not what I think that people want. So admitting that is hard, because it's like, oh dang, like I got stuff that nobody really wants and it's not selling. And I feel like you could sell anything, but you have to know like who is the market that you're selling. So that's that. And then today on my drive home from work, I was thinking like, hey, yesterday was Sunday, today is Monday. It is a new week. Figuring out what are my goals for the week. Obviously, I want more sales. I I even brought out old inventory that I had been sitting on for a minute from Selected Threads, which is the clothing brand I was growing. And I have a bunch of these shirts with Love Yourself on the pocket. Again, you think the design is nice, but again, it won't sell. So I'm even having those on the site for $10. We're selling $10 tees right now. You also take in the state of the world right now. You take in the fact that every day it's something, whether it's something going on in the world or something going on with this current administration, there's something going on all the time. And so there's this level of guilt because, people are real life suffering. People are scared. People are worried. People are like it's serious. So it feels wrong getting on, and my problems feel so small compared to the fact that you know, there are some people who are literally one check. We're all one paycheck away from homelessness, you know? And now people are afraid that they're going to lose their benefits. And the current sitting president of the United States is deciding that he rather build this $300 million ballroom than help the Americans of the United States of America. So there's that. So with everything that's going on, it's very hard to also grow a business because there are real life problems going on for people. You know, it's gonna get real sticky and icky out there in the world. And so that's another thing. And I know I feel like I'm rambling, but this is literally just me talking for real, honestly. Welcome. On top of that, yesterday was Sunday, and I didn't really do anything yesterday. And initially, before I started just rambling, I had a thought of me wanting to sit down and just talk about how it's hard to rest as a struggling business owner because, you know, stuff is still due. Bills are still due. And, you know, when Miss Tabitha Brown got on the internet and told people that you need to get a job to fund the business and don't quit your job without your business being able to fund you, and everyone got all upset with her, it's like, no, that's real life though. Because I only have a little part-time gig and I'm struggling. And once you get behind, it's so hard to catch up. Once you get behind, once accounts start getting overdrawn, it's so hard. And I feel like I have just been in survival mode for so long. So rest feels guilty for me sometimes. It's hard for me not to wake up and think, how can I get to this money by tomorrow? And that's so real. Like, that's still about like as real as I can be. Like, how can I get to this money by tomorrow? Because website stuff is still due. And with Shopify, if you don't pay that invoice, because you know, you can get a sale every day. You can get a sale every day. And Shopify will let you get to a threshold before they say, okay, you need to pay that back. So realistically, you're getting a sale every day. That's why you have to be very smart when it comes to shipping costs, because sometimes an item can be $4, sometimes it can be $6. And it's just like Shopify will let you get to that threshold. But once you get to that threshold, you have to pay that in order for you to keep shipping items out. So just the other day, I hit my threshold, but I had items that needed to be shipped. How am I going to pay for that? I don't get paid till at this time. I get paid this week, but this was over the weekend. And I don't want people just sitting and then wondering like where my items at, you know? So I had to figure that out. And so resting feels guilty for me. If I'm being honest, it feels like I need to work on, if not warm pages, I need to be working on something. I need to be creating content. I need to be showing up on the internet, because numbers don't equal sales, but numbers can get you into a lot of doors. Okay. People can look and say, oh, she has 15K on TikTok. That's good. But I don't want just a following. I want community. And I do want to work with brands. I think that's really cool and really fun. So it's like I do want to start bringing in brand deals, but I have to show up on the internet to do that. I have to create content that's authentic, that's me. So resting. You need rest though, because if I don't rest, I get burnt out. If you don't rest, your body is going to force you to rest. If you don't take out the time, and resting helps you rethink and brainstorm. So even though I may be sitting and watching a movie or watching TV or reading, in the back of my brain, in the back of my brain, I am thinking, what can I do to help push these products? What can I do to get more editing clients? I need to be making more content. What kind of content do I want to make where people feel, because when you post content, you're either posting something that is funny, motivational, informational, or like just interesting in general. Especially now more than ever, you're just trying to catch someone's attention because attention spans have gone so low that you're literally just trying to catch someone's attention. So for me, rest does feel guilty. And even though yesterday I did take the day and I did really nothing but read my book, I watched a couple movies. I don't know, I was feeling a creepy movie. I was feeling creepy vibes yesterday because I watched It Chapter 2. That movie is crazy. I don't think I've ever actually seen the movie. So to watch it for the first time yesterday, yeah. Mm-mm. And after that, I watched Jeepers Creepers. So last night when I got into bed, I said, Dom, you sure watched a lot of creepy stuff today. But anyways, and I read my book. I'm currently reading. What am I currently reading? What am I reading? What am I currently reading? Curvy Girl Summer. That's what I'm reading. About 79% done with it. And then I just saved Ready or Not. And then I'm actually really, okay, this is a tangent, but I'm actually really excited to go through my end of the year books. Like, I want to make that type of post because I've been using Storygraph to keep track of books that I read this year. And I was able to go month by month. And it's actually cool to see how many books I finished in one month or like what I was reading that month. But so far, I've read like 20 books this year. My goal was 50, but life happens, you know? So now I kind of want to get to like at least 25 or something. I don't know. But yeah, I watched movies. I did post one thread. I feel like I have to show up for my business every day though, because yeah. But at the same time, sometimes when I post, my videos don't hit. I can have a really good week. I got a really good couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden, none of my posts are getting seen. And now Instagram has this feature where you can see the views on the posts. So sometimes, like, we post all the time on Warm Pages. Like, I'm always constantly posting Black women authors. I don't want this video to get too long, so I need to stop talking in like 20 minutes. But, excuse me. We post Black women authors all the time on our social media accounts. And so sometimes the post will hit, sometimes the post won't hit. Sometimes people really are messing with it, sometimes they're not. The only thing I ask for the authors that we post is that they follow us, share it, and sometimes I even send out a little collaboration thing so we can collaborate on the post. Sometimes they get accepted, sometimes they don't. But sometimes content performs very well and sometimes it doesn't. And so it's just like, yeah. And I feel like I've been on and off consistent with YouTube and on and off consistent with posting content. And for a while, I actually was like, when I had gained this big amount of following, I was like, oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. Like, imagine constantly posting, and then like it hits. And then like all of a sudden you have 15,000 people, but then you post something and 15,000 people don't see it. So it's like, okay. But numbers mean things because numbers can get you in the door. Numbers don't mean sales, but people see a big number. And for me, it's all about community though. Like, I would much rather have community over a big following because I rather talk to people and actually have dialogue with people than like just saying, oh, I got this amount of followers, because followers, okay. Impact, yes. Followers, all right. You know? So yeah. I was gonna end this off by saying, like, sincerely, your entrepreneur or something like that. I don't know. Sincerely a entrepreneur, like that. Yeah, sincerely an entrepreneur. But yeah, this is just me talking and me just spewing like where I am right now, because let me tell you something. It don't be easy. I'm hosting my first event. I'm nervous, and I keep telling myself that like you're gonna suck the first time. Like it's not gonna be good. Of course not. It's your first time doing anything. But I also know like it's time to actually step into the entrepreneur that I want to be, because that's the only way this is going to work. I can't be scared. I can't be nervous. I mean, I could be all those things, but I can't let it stop me from doing what I need to do and living the life that I want to live and being where I want to be. And yeah. And you also have to find success outside of your business too. Because sometimes I find myself in a low mood and I'm like, what's wrong? Like I ask myself, like, what is wrong? Like, why do you feel so unhappy? And you can't put your happiness in your business sometimes, because you are going to have low moments in your business. It's not always going to be super glamorous every time. You're going to have low sales one month, big sales one month. Like that's the thing about business, is that it can literally rather good or bad. Just the coin can always flip. So you have to be ready and you have to be prepared, and you can't put your happiness in your business, just like you can't put your happiness in somebody else. So I have to find the happiness within myself. What's going to fulfill me? What's going to fill my cup outside of hearing that little cha-ching from Shopify? Outside from, yes, it's growing, this business is satisfying, but outside of that, outside of all these things, what fills my cup? That's the question for today. What fills the cup? So yeah, I'm out of here. Sincerely, an entrepreneur.